Hello and welcome to London's Lost Railways number 12. And we've saved this video till last because it is London's best lost railway. So much so that they've turned it into the Parkland Walk Nature Reserve. And we're going to take a walk along the pathway from Finsbury Park to Alexandra Palace.
This 4.5 mile walk follows the path of the old line, which had stations at Stroud Green, Crouch End, Highgate, Cranley Gardens, Muswell Hill and Alexandra Palace. Services were run by the Great Northern Railway from 1867, and in the 1930s plans were published for them to become part of the Underground network in a project known as the Northern Heights. But the Second World War intervened, the plans were scrapped, and the railway eventually closed in 1954. The Parkland Walk is very scenic and a fantastic walk to take. It's part of the Capital Ring, and there are plenty of clues remaining to show that there used to be a railway here.
There's lots of little bits of sort of train ephemera all the way along the track, including this sleeper, which has now been turned into a very comfortable bench.
And it doesn't take long to get to the site of the first station on the line.
The path is high up and we've reached the place where Stroud Green Station once stood, and behind us you can see the Gospel Oak to Barking line and also a wonderful old station master's house.
The railway was a double, not single track, as you can see at the next bridge.
We've reached yet another bridge, and it's here where you get a really good indication that this was actually a double track railway with one of the tracks on this side of the separator from the other. But the best thing about the walkway is just coming up.
For further up the line is one of London's best lost railway stations, where the platforms are still in place and you can walk freely on them.
We've reached what I think is a pretty incredible part of the parkway, and that is the old platforms at what was Crouch End station. The station itself shut in 1954, but the platforms, as you can see, are still here, albeit slightly overgrown. Oh, I should probably stand behind the yellow line.
There's evidence up on street level too of some old brickwork that was once the station building. The walk, though, being flat, is popular with walkers, runners and cyclists, and there's information boards dotted along giving you more history as well. Carrying on down the delightful path, and the next brilliant thing you find are some tunnels.
So we've reached Highgate and we've come down a little track just off of the walkway to discover these amazing tunnels. For those of you who will spot their slightly odd shape and tall shape, that's because they had to accommodate steam trains. It was this section of the railway which would have met the underground, but today these tunnels are actually bat sanctuaries, so you can't walk through them.
The Highgate Tunnels are at the end of the south section of Parkland Walk, and you have to walk through a residential area to pick up the trail again for the north section, right by where Cranley Gardens station would have been. The line here is high up, and on the approach to the site of Muswell Hill station there's an impressive view. The arches below at street level are still all in place too and look great. And then it finishes, with you getting to what was the terminus of the line.
We've reached the end of the line, Alexandra Palace, and here is the beautiful old station. Behind it, obviously, the palace itself. The station closed in 1954 and in 1987 was converted into the community centre for use, the old station. Thanks for joining us. That was the last in the series of London's Lost Railways. There have been 12 episodes in total. If you've missed any of those, go back and check the links on the Londonist YouTube channel. But don't worry, we will be back with another series of videos very shortly looking at London's least used railway stations.